In this video, we will discuss Technology Acceptance Model 1 and 2. Here is a diagram of Technology Acceptance Model 1, we call TAM 1, and here is a diagram of TAM 2. We will talk about Technology Acceptance Model 1. The Technology Acceptance Model 1 is a widely used theoretical framework in the field of information system and technology management. It's aimed to explain and predict individual acceptance and uses of technology. There are two versions of Technology Acceptance Model, TAM 1, TAM 2, and one model also, that is TAM 3. Technology Acceptance Model, which is introduced by Fred Davis in 1986. What is a TAM model? It is a perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. These are two key determinants of individual's intention and use technology, which is turned to influence actual uses. So what will happen in this model? Perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use which we will convert consumer attitude using of particular product, and that will become the behavior intention, and that will impact on actual system of uses. Influence and actual uses. Perceived usefulness refer to extent to which a person believes that using a particular technology will enhance their job performance, while perceived ease of use is the degree to which a person believes that using the technology will be free of efforts. So we'll talk about the perceived useful. The degree to which a person believes that using a particular system would enhance their job performance, we call perceived usefulness. And another factor is that perceived ease of use, the degree to which person believes that using a particular system would be free of effort. For example, if someone will wash their clothes into the washing machine, in that case that person will not put that much effort, so we call perceived ease of use. In short, if we will call how much comfortable a particular consumer is feeling while using that particular technology, it's based on all of the consumer. Let's talk about the relationship. PEOU and PEOU directly influence an individual attitude. So perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, they both are directly influence an individual attitude towards using technology. Attitudes in turn influence, and what will happen? Attitude turn into influence, that intention to use, and intention to use predict actual system uses. This is all about the concept of the TAM model. The Technology Acceptance Model TAM 2. We will talk about the Technology Acceptance Model TAM 2. Here is a TAM 2 model. Here it is. Build upon the original Technology Acceptance Model. So TAM 2 built upon the original TAM 1 by introducing several changes and extension to enhance their model explanatory power. Here is the key changes in TAM 2 compared to TAM 1. So we have TAM 1 model. Previously in TAM model there is only perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, but now here is in short we can call this is a TAM 1 and this is some changes which is made by researcher. So we call TAM 2, that is subjective norm, image, job, and other factor also which I will discuss in further. Here is the picture of that model. Subjective norm, image, job relevant, output quality, result, these are factors will influence perceived usefulness. Perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, they both are interconnected to the intention to use, and intention will become user behavior. And experience and voluntariness, here is also the impact on this all model. And TAM 2, it is introduced by Venkatesh and Davis in 2000, and this model built upon the original TAM 1. So I already told you this model built upon the TAM 1 by incorporating digital variable and factor that might influence technology acceptance. Model components TAM 2 add the following. So here is sub components which added by researcher. The first is that perceived enjoyment. So here is all those factors we have one subheading, that is perceived enjoyment. What is that? Perceived enjoyment is a key component. It is a very important component introduced in the technology acceptance model we call TAM2. This variable reflects the extent to which user find a particular system or technology enjoyable to use. Unlike the original technology acceptance model TAM1, which focused primarily on the perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, TAM2 recognizes the importance of user subjective experience, emotion, and enjoyment in influencing their acceptance and adoption of technology. So what it requires? It's required to importance of user subjective experience, emotion, enjoyment. These are most important key factor in that model. Here are some key points based on the perceived enjoyment. First, we talk about its definition. Perceived enjoyment refer to users perceived of fun, pleasure, of satisfaction derived from using a specified technology or system. It assesses the hedonic aspect of a user experience. Emotional aspect. Perceived usefulness goes beyond practical consideration, such as usefulness, ease of use, and emphasize the emotion and effective dimension of technology use. Users are more likely to accept and continue using a technology if they derive enjoyment from the experience. What is the user experience? It is closely related to the overall user experience. Positive emotion and enjoyment contribute to a more positive attitude towards the technology, which in turn influence the intention to use and actual uses. Motivation. Perceived enjoyment can act as a motivator for individuals to engage with the technology voluntarily, while users find a system enjoyable. They are more likely to invest time and efforts in using it if the user feel enjoyment factor in that. TAM2 integration. In the context of TAM2, PE is one of the external variable. Perceived usefulness is one of the external variable added to the original TAM1 model. Along with other extended factor like subjective norms, there are others factor. Perceived usefulness, which is already in TAM1, but here is some others factor that is we call this model along with the another external factor like subjective norm, image, and PE enhance the model ability to explain and predict technology. So what PE they do, it's enhanced to model ability to explain and predict technology acceptance by accounting for the hedonic aspect of user experience. Practical implication. Recognizing the role of enjoyment, technology acceptance has practically implication for the design and development of user-friendly and engaging technologies. Systems that provide a positive and enjoyment experience are likely to be more successful in gaining user acceptance. In summary, what is perceived enjoyment? In TAM2, emphasize that importance of user emotional experience and enjoyment in influencing their acceptance and use of technology, provide a more holistic understanding of the factors that drive technology adoption. So experience and voluntariness, these two factors is also important to converting consumer intention. We will talk about the subjective norms. So here the first variable which we will talk, that is subjective norm. Subjective norm is a key component introduced in technology acceptance model. So this is a key component which is introduced in TAM2. Technology acceptance model to TAM that represent the perceived social influence or pressure that individual believe exists regarding their use of a particular technology. Subjective norm is one of the external variable added to the original TAM1 model, recognizing that social factors play a crucial role in shaping individual attitudes and intention toward the technology acceptance. Here are key points about subjective norms which we will discuss. That is, the first we will clear its definition. What is the subjective norm definition? Subjective norms refer to an individual's perception. So what it refer? It refer to individual perceptions of the social pressure of influence applying by relevant others such as friend, family, colleague and superior regarding the use of specified technology. So here is some important factor, that is friend, family, colleagues and superior. These are also impact on which refer to the subjective norms to an individual's perception. Social influence. Influence also is a part of that. What is that? That it captures the importance of social expectation, opinion and norms on an individual's decision to adopt and use technology. It reflects the belief that others in one social network accept or encourage the use of particular system. Normative expectations. Subjective norm is linked to normative expectations, reflecting what an individual believe others think they should do in terms of adopting and using a technology. It's not necessary about what others actually believe, but rather the individual perception of those beliefs. Social context, we are talking only this model and then we will talk about this. So social context, these are some key part of this model. This construct, that is subjective norms. So social context emphasize the importance of the social context in technology acceptance. If an individual perceives that significant other endorse or expect them to use a specified technology, it can positively influence their attitude and intention to use. So it can positively refer to intention, which can become the user's usefulness, user behavior. Time to integration. Subjective norm is integrated and time to has one of the external variable alongside perceived enjoyment and image. Perceived enjoyment and image. This addition aims to provide a more comprehensive understanding of the social and personal factor that influence technology adoption. Influence on attitude and intention. Directly influence an individual's attitude towards using the technology and in turn it affects the intention to use. The pathway is consistent with the broader technology of reasoned action, from which TAM draws some of its theoretical foundation. Practical implication. Recognizing the influence of subjective norms has implications for designing strategies for promoting technology adoption. Strategies that leverage positive social influence and endorsement can be effective in encouraging user to accept and use the technology. In short, subjective norm is TAM 2 highlighted the significance of social influence. So what it's it will highlight the significant social influence of individuals' attitudes and intention towards technology acceptance, contributing to a more comprehensive model that considers both social and personal factors. Let's we will talk about the image. Image is an additional variable. Image is also additional variable introduced in the technology acceptance model 2, which is introduced technology acceptance model 2. Image represent the perceived impact that using particular technology has on an individual's image or status. The external variable acknowledge that individual may consider the social and personal consequences associated with adopting and using a specified technology beyond just its functional aspect. TAM is primarily concerned with understanding and predicting user acceptance. So TAM, what it it is primarily concerned with understanding and predicting user acceptance of technology, particular in the workplace. The key construct in TAM, namely perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, are often considered in work-related context. So perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use is also considered the work-related content. Perceived usefulness In job, we will talk about the perceived usefulness use in a particular one construct, that is job. Job relevance can be associated with perceived usefulness. PEOU is term referred to the extent to which an individual believe that using a particular technology will enhance their job performance. If user perceive that a technology is relevant to their job task and responsibilities, they are more likely to find it useful. Perceived ease of use, we will talk about in job perspective. While not explicitly labeled as job relevance, the perceived ease which user believe they can use a system if a technology is seen as easy to use in the context of job related tasks, it may contribute to its acceptance. Integration with job characteristic. Researcher and practitioner often integrate TAM with other theories related to job characteristics and technology adoption in the workplace. Factors such as task, relevant task, technology fit, and alignment with job requirements and essential considerations in understanding how employees perceive the relevance of technology to their work. Organization context, we'll talking this the third construct of this model. TAM, while initially developed to understand individual technology adoption, can be applied at the organization level. In this context, job relevance is often a crucial factor. If a technology aligns with organizational goal and enhance job performance, it is more likely to be accepted and adopted by employees. And empirical studies. Applying TAM in organizational settings often explore the job relevance of technologies. Researchers may investigate how perceived usefulness and ease of use influence employees' attitude and intention use technology in their work. So perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, how they intended and influence when employees' attitude and intention to use of technology. While job relevance may not be explicitly defined as a separate variable in the TAM, the model construct and job application within an organization or job related context provide a framework for understanding how users assess the relevance of the technology to their professional tasks and responsibilities. Now we are talking about the output quality definition. First, image refer to the perceived impact. What image do? It's refer to the perceived impact that using the technology has on an individual social image, status or identity. It reflects how adopting a particular technology may positively or negatively affected the way others view that individuals. Social consequences. Here is some consequences, social consequences about the image. Emphasize that social consequences of the technology adoption. User may consider how using a specified system enhance or diminish their image in the eye of others, such as peer, colleagues, or their broader communities. Identity and status. Image is linked to an individual's perception. What image is happen? It's linked to the individual perception of how the using a technology aligns with their identity and social status. Adopting a technology that is perceived as innovative or prestigious may enhance one's image. Time to integrations. Image is one of the external variable introduced in time to along with the subjective norms. So image is one of the external variable which is introduced along with the subjective norms. Perceived enjoyment. These additional extended the original TAM 1. Perceived usefulness. This is after that they extended in TAM 2. By incorporating social and personal factors that can influence technology acceptance. Influence and attitude and intention. Similarly to subjective norm and perceived enjoyment, image directly influence individual attitude. So subjective norm, image, job relevance, output quality and result, they are directly impacted perceived usefulness. Image directly influences an individual attitude towards using technology. A positive attitude in turn affects the intention to use the technology. Ultimately, influence actual uses. So ultimately, it will become influence of actual uses. Practical implication. Recognizing the role of image in technology acceptance has implication for marketing, design, and implementation strategies. So where this model work, we are talking about the practical implication. Recognizing the role of image in the technology acceptance has implication for marketing, design, and implementation strategies, highlighting the positive social consequences and image enhancement associated with the technology can contribute to its acceptance and adoption. User perception. Image reflect the user perception. What image does? It reflect to user perception of the symbolic value of the technology. It does beyond function utility to consider the social and psychological aspect of technology uses. In short, image attempt to expand the model by considering the social and personal consequences of the technology adoption. It recognizes that user may be influenced not all by the functional benefit or a technology, but also by how it's the contribute to their social image and status. We will talk about perceived quality. The perceived quality of output can be a crucial factor in determinants the success of technology within an organization. Here are few considerations related to the output quality and context technology acceptance. So we will talk about the fourth construct, that is output quality. First is the first point is that is task performance. Users are more likely to accept and use a technology if it contributes to improve task performance and product highly quality output. The perceived impact and job related outcome can reflect overall perception of usefulness. Second, system reliability. There are some factors which is impact on output quality. The reliability and accuracy of the output generated by a system contributed to users' trust in the technology. A reliable system that consistently produce high quality result is more likely to accept by user. Feedback mechanism provide user with Facebook on the quality of their output can enhance their perceived usefulness. So it will enhance their perceived usefulness while providing users with feedback on the quality of their output can enhance the perceived usefulness of a system. Clear and timely feedback help user understanding the value of the technology in achieving their goal. Integration with user goals. The alignments of the technology's output with users' goal and expectation is crucial. It uses perception that the technology support their objective and generated relevant and high quality result. It contributes to a positive attitude and intention to use. While output quality itself may not be explicitly part of the TAM model 1, it is an important consideration in the broader context of the technology acceptance. In practical application and research studies, researchers often explore the relationship between perceived usefulness and the quality outcome produced by the technology. Result and demonstrability. The concept of result demonstrability is not explicitly part of the original technology acceptance model TAM 1. TAM developed by which we already talked about the Frank Davis in 1918 focused on the two main constructs, that is the perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. Related to the user belief, which is related to the user belief, which will convert in user's intention, that will become user behavior. Result demonstrability as a term is often associated with a perceived clarity of visibility of the outcomes or result generated by the technology. While not explicitly mentioned in TAM, similar concept related to the observation outcome of using technology may influence user perception and attitude. Here is some consideration related to result demonstrability within the context of technology acceptance. What is that? Now this is the last one, that is result demonstrabilities. The first factor is that observable outcome. What is that? User may be more likely to accept a technology if the outcome or result of using it are easily observable or demonstrable. Clear and tangible benefit can positively impact user perception of the technology. Feedback mechanism. Technologies that provide immediate and visible feedback on the outcome of user actions can enhance result demonstrabilities. Users are more likely to understand the impact their interaction with system. Communicating benefits. Effective communication about the benefit and outcome of using the technology can contribute to result demonstrability. User need to understand how the technology positively affect their task or job performance. Training and support. Adequate training and support mechanism can contribute to result demonstrability by helping users understand how to use the technology effectively and showcasing the positive outcome they can achieve. While result demonstrability may not be explicitly included in TAM 1, it aligns with the broader idea that user perceptions of the benefit and outcomes of using technology play a crucial role in their acceptance and adoption decision in particular application. Understanding how user perceived and experienced the demonstrability of result can be important for successful technology implementation. Experience definition. Experience is the term. Now we are talking about these two constructs. The first we will talk, that is experience. Experience is the term context referred to the user's level of familiarities and past intention which a particular technology or similar technology. It's recognized that user with varying degree to experience may perceive the ease of use and usefulness of technology differently. So it will reflect perceived ease of use and the usefulness of technology differently. Influence in TAM 2. TAM 2 introduce experience as a moderate variable, acknowledge that relationship between the perceived ease of use and perceived usefulness. Voluntariness definition. What is the voluntariness? This is our last construct. We will talk about. Voluntariness refers to the degree to which individual perceive the use of technology as adoption or mandatory. In a voluntary context, users have the choice to adopt or reject the technology, where in the mandatory context, using may require by the organization. Voluntariness also connected with all these factors, and this will also convert the intention of users. All these factors are interconnected to each other. Influence in TAM 2. The perceived voluntariness of technology use can influence user attitude and intention. In a voluntary setting, user perception of usefulness and ease of use may have more direct impact on their decision to adopt the technology. In mandatory setting, external factors like organizational policy may play a strong role. Integration with TAM. Both experience and voluntariness are considered in the extended version of TAM and such as TAM 2. These factors are added. We call the external variable, and this is a next version of TAM 1. So we call the TAM 2. The acknowledgement of these factors aims to provide more nuanced understanding of the technology acceptance process according to individual differences and contextual influence. Practical implication. Understanding role of experience and voluntariness can have practical implication for the design, implementation and support of technology system. Tailoring training and support based on users experience level and recognize the implication of voluntariness can contribute to more effective technology adoption. In summary, while experience and voluntariness are not part of the original TAM, so these both are not part of the this original TAM. This is a part of the TAM 2. They have been recognized in subsequent research and extended version of the model we call TAM 2. These factors highlighting the importance of the considering individual differences and contextual factor in understanding user attitude and intention toward technology acceptance. Last but not least, we can talk about TAM 2 versus TAM 1 relationship. In TAM 2, perceived enjoyment, subjective norms, image are added to model as the external variable in TAM 2. So these are subjective norm, image, job, and experience, voluntariness. These added extra variable. Attitude and intention to use. TAM 1 versus TAM 2. TAM 2 extended by TAM 1 considering additional factor. So TAM 1 extended by TAM 2 extended by TAM 1 considering additional factor improving the model of perceived power. TAM 2 introduced external variable to capture social and personal influence on the technology acceptance. So why TAM 2 introduce external variable? Because it's captures social personal influence on technology acceptance. Both TAM 1 and TAM 2 have been influential in shaping research on technology acceptance and have provided valuable insight into the factor influencing user attitude and behavior towards adopting new technology. Researchers and practitioners continue to use and adapt these models to study technology acceptance in various contexts. The technology acceptance model TAM 1 has evolved over the time, with TAM 2 presenting an extension and refinement of the original TAM 1. There are key differences between TAM 1 and TAM 2. Additional variable in TAM 2. TAM 1, the original, I already discussed about that, the base on the original TAM 1. TAM 2 expand the model by introducing some factors, that is subjective norm, image, and additional value. TAM 1 and TAM 2 broader theoretical foundation in TAM 2. TAM 1 is primarily based on the theory of reason action. So TAM 1 is a primary based on the theory reason action, which I will make video after this lecture. Focusing on individual attitude and intention, TAM 2 integrate elements from social cognitive theory, incorporating concepts such as self-efficacy. These broader theoretical foundation help TAM 2 broader account the social and the cognitive factor influence technology acceptance. Predictive powers. TAM 1 laid the foundation for understanding technology acceptance and was widely adopted in research and practice. However, researchers recognize the need for additional variable and enhance this model productivity. That's why researchers introduce more construct here in TAM 2. TAM 2 was developed in response to this need, aiming to improve the explanatory and the predictive capability of the original model by incorporating new variable and considering a wider range of the influence. Emphasis of use experience in TAM 2. TAM 1 considered ease of use and perceived usefulness. TAM 1 considered ease of use and perceived usefulness. It did not explicitly address the experimental aspect of the technology use. TAM 2 acknowledged the importance of the experience by introducing perceived enjoyment as factor. The additional recognize the role of enjoyment and user satisfaction in shaping the attitude and intention. Application in different contexts. TAM 1 is widely used in various contexts, study technology. So where the TAM 1 is used, it was widely used in various contexts to study technology acceptance, but researchers and practitioners sought improvement. TAM 2 provide a more comprehensive framework that is adaptable to broader range of situation, and technology making is more versatile in application. In short, TAM 2 built upon TAM by 1. Incorporating additional variable, introducing a moderate variable, and integrating the concept for social cognitive theory, TEM2 aims to provide more robust and comprehensive model for understanding technology acceptance in driven context.